Hi everyone, my name is Esteban Montero and I want to talk about this speech that I call social networks in the young. The social networks are a topic to talk about for hours and to have different points of view, especially when involved with the time of our youth and children. That valuable time that for them is essential to learn and acquire the necessary skills for life. We will talk about how our social networks affect our young people because we know that many parents are concerned in which children are leaving aside important tasks to dedicate themselves to having a virtual life away from communications and a real contact with real people. A new study carried out by the Royal Society of Public Health and the University of Cambridge among young British people, bringing together more than 1,500 young people between 40 and 24 years old, focuses on a very particular problem: the well-being and mental health of the users of these applications. According to this work, Instagram could end up being the most harmful among teenagers because of its impact on the psychological health of the most vulnerable age group. Behind, also with negative notes, will be Snapchat, Facebook, and Twitter. The only network analyzed with positive evaluation is the YouTube video portal. So, in this speech, we will try to focus in what benefits and problems have to face our teenagers in the social media, and the key points that some experts touch about how to face this problem, especially as a challenge for teenagers and their parents. When people think of social networks, different images and icons are offered to our mind. For example, when I turn on my computer or check my cell phone instead of calling people, I look for an emoticon to greet people, and on my Facebook I search for the likes and the news topics of the day. Well, we all do the same unconsciously. As for this, if it's true, most young people ask at Christmas for a gift to, to have fun, to interact with their friends, or to have the latest fashion toy. For 5 years, until young people have been involved in social networks, have decided to change a ball for the best cell phone. Faced with this global phenomenon, the college and universities and institutions and all those interested in the social and educational development of young people have been involved in this problem, a situation that puts a little more against the thinking, the psychologists and the experts. In the pedagogical matters, you do not need to ignore that technology is good. Nobody questions whether social networks have use, productivity, and impact, but the fact of having a smartphone, a tablet, or a computer with multiple accesses create a universe of possibilities of the some uh, young minors are not able to take charge. Sometimes children have trouble looking, just the problems comes to them as a friend, like a video that seems innocent, or as a game that 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 seems harmless. The addiction to impact or the influence that generates it to young people is what is trying to regulate, because although it is the parents who allow their children to have real access, to the social networks and the universe on the web. It's not the parents who decide that they are seeing the adolescents. Sometimes rather they prohibit certain things, but they do not check the status of the content and the interactions that are having children. Speaking with many parents, it's found that many of them agree with the use of social networks, but there are others who strongly disagree because they have created a distancing environment between parents and children, equal children with their families. They say that verbal communication has been reduced, that they no longer have the same confidence and desire to count as the first ones, as they have themselves before having their own cell phone, and that such involvement in their own world is such that they have to have a life outside. I do not know should get in touch with the face because many of the businesses are done in this way, many of the talks are done in this way, and most people aren't know that way. Another of the talks are done and common denominators that has been mentioned in terms of the use of social networks and the web universe in the loss of time. They note adequate distribution of their daily tasks and the complete forgetting of their responsibilities that are important and want to be done because that's what the law demands. This is not only dedicated for teenagers, but also for adults, since it is immediately arrived from the study work site. The first thing that is done is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and WhatsApp, leaving aside the interpersonal relationship with their children by their parents, and replacing them with the funny videos on the net. Many of the teenagers prefer to spend time on the internet to study or watch an educational program, and many of the adolescents spend around 20% of the day connected to the network. That means more than 3 or 4 hours a day. Where is parental review? Where is the control? This question. We must not leave aside the physiological problems that the abuse and misuse of social networks leave. Our teenagers, one of them, that this so-called social bullying that has caused the death of many of our valuable teenagers, as well as depression after having passed for a low break or for having seen the image that they did not like their group of friends. That anxiety and physiological trauma that later is reflected in their notes, in their dealings with their parents, and are even in their environment and school interaction. It is a great need to attack this issue on the part of health professionals or pedagogical professionals, and parents should be a joint effort that allows to involve society, to involve those affect who are our adolescents and avoid as much as possible this type of consequences. Teaching the teaching the correct use of social networks or what can be planned for a specific time to review. One of the ideas that has occurred to me is that among the schools one can give a one-chair seminar or educational talk that allows students and their parents to understand the proper use of social networks. Simplifying through testimonials what happens when they are not used in a way and stable because although some students have not gone through complicated situations another one has done so, and there have been permanent sequels. Activities such as sport, practice, research group, extra group work for the home, healthy lifestyle, habits, proper nutrition, and adequate hours of sleep can help teens in a great way to distribute their time well and think less about throwing it away in the abuse of the social network. Lastly, I would like to touch on the issue of network security, and that topics is more focused on the parents or guardians of the present of the teenagers. 167 payments. No one likes to deal with strangers. Anyone who would like one of their children to involve me with a strange relationship because you are that kind of thing, because we allow our teenagers to be exposed to people unscrupulous. If they want to try to harm the innocence on one young, that parental control should go hand in hand with the dialogue with their children. In conclusion, I would like to say that the use of social networks should not be left unsaid. In fact, it is a tool to connect people around the world because it raises promotional knowledge. Not days ago, and also to make people around the world have a positive impact. Young people on use social networks should start from the teaching given in the place in vital rights of a teenager. And as a final call, if they know of a case of inappropriate use, please, someone who uses a teenager for this fact must manifest it to the competent authorities. This way, we are going to prevent that more of our adolescents continue to be victims of people in unhealthy cinemas. Well, my conclusion, social networks are a means for the promotion and acknowledge of the new theories, as well as to make real-time connections with people across the globe. It's important that any information that we receive for our health maybe give us a solution for this problem that many young people are exposed. Thank you and goodbye.